Good afternoon. Thank you for invitation and your experience at our and thank you for our interest on our experience at the best bidder concept in public tenders. First, I give you some information about our company. Asfinag is a customer-financed commercial operator and builder of motorway and expressways. Asfinag was founded in 1982 and is owned by the Austrian Ministry of Transport, Innovation and Technology. Asfinag is one of the leading motorway operators in Europe. Our tasks are planning, construction, maintenance, operation, financing and tool charging for the motorways and expressways in Austria. Asfinag is operate 2,200 kilometers motorways and expressways in Austria. We have around 2,800 employees. Now I will start with my presentation. It is considered into divided in two parts. I will tell you about our experience with the best bidder concept in public tender. After that, my colleague, Mr. Lohmann Bichler, will tell you more about our criteria for the increasing of asphalt paving. Why it's so important to rate quality. Social dumping, insolvency, environmental pollution or undeclared work, these were the main issues that the public contractor was confronted in the last few years. This was partly due to the fact that the price have usually been deceived. The factor, as in the most in the most cases of public contract, this resulted in a tough price war in public procurement. If quality were included in the call for tenders, it was usually a prolonged warranty period or a reduced construction time. Still, those criteria were not enough to relax the competition between the economic agents, as those criteria do not really allow a qualitative assessment of the offers. So, a new way of thinking of procurement process was needed. A higher quality is valued in Asfinag company. We are aware of the high level of responsibility to our residents, to our customers, and of course also of the ecological and social environment. The best bidder concept should help us to create a fair competition. Quality assessment should be based on transparent and standardized award criteria. We want to increase work safety, customer satisfaction, and also quality of design. Even the reduction of environmental impact and the advancement of innovation and know-how is very important for us. Social and ecological aspects of sustainability have to be considered. A higher quality has to pay off for the bidder, In order to live up our responsibility, we implemented the best bidder concept in September 2015 in our procurement process for construction contracts exceeding €1 million. Our quality assessment based on standardized quality criteria, this criteria can be categorized in four categories: execution quality, like increase of quality of asphalt paving or concrete paving, customer benefit and also benefit for the residents, environmental sustainability, and last but not least, energy saving, especially in tunnels. To avoid disruption in competition, not complying with the offered quality have to be penalized. Therefore, we have a penalty fee in our contracts. Right now, we have 29 main criteria and 27 sub-criteria in our standards. The best bidder concept is the basis for a fair competition. Since September 2015, we managed 402 procurement procedures with estimated costs of 3.50 billions. For 397 tenders, submission is done. A total of 1,682 bids were received. In the first half year 2019, we managed 45 procurement procedures with estimated costs of 248 millions. In average, we tender construction contracts with estimated costs of 1 billion per year. For evaluation, we analyzed these 1,682 received bids. The blue beams show the usage of each criteria since September 2015 to the mid-2019. The orange line for the first half year 2019. This statistic is a summarized representation of our award criteria. For example, the reduction of construction period contains 5 different criteria for the reduction of construction period. The award criteria are very well accepted by the project managers. The socially sustainable criteria are becoming increasingly more important alongside the technical criteria. This statistic shows how many offers we got to each criteria. The award criteria also have a high level of acceptance among the bidders, especially the socially sustainable criteria. For example, 354 offers of 384 received offers included the criterion work safety. This is a result of evaluation for the application of the best bidder concept in the first half year 2019. The upper limit of weighting is 10%, the lower limit is 3%. The mean for the first half year 2019 was 3.63%. Especially gratifying is the fact that the best bidder concept also applied for construction contracts with estimated costs lower than 1 million. Due to the high quality requirements of our standards and directives, we could already start from a very good basis and aim to provide an incentive to increase the quality even more. For higher quality than the standard quality, the contracting authority is willing to pay more, determining an appropriate price in tender for higher quality. A higher quality requires a higher price. For more quality, we are willing to spend up to 10% more. To increase the quality at any cost is not reasonable from an economic view, and it also not sustainable. So we define in the tender which quality criteria we are prepared to spend more on, and also how the individual criteria will be rated exactly. When then leave it to the economic agent to decide whether the required quality is offered in accordance with the value defined by the clients. Now this is the end of my part. My colleague will continue with our quality criteria for increasing the asphalt paving.
After the contractual part, I will tell you something about the criteria regarding the asphalt paving. We have for this 4 categories. The first category is the transport of asphalt, especially in thermally insulated dampers to ensure the required temperature and also a constant temperature. The second category is the actual asphalt paving. Our project managers can choose for a good evenness, long slab tracer, or asphalt paving with grade line. We have also asphalt feeder for a constant asphalt paving. Then there's the continuous compaction control with a logistic criterion, the lean construction, compact asphalt method, and a criterion to increase the quality of bitumen. There's an ecological criterion, the addition of recycling aggregates. Then very important in terms of quality is well-trained staff. So we have also a criterion where the proof of the training for the personnel of construction is required. Of course, we have to evaluate our criteria. We have to make an assessment of the impact of the quality improvement measure. It's necessary to make statements about possible savings by estimating the timing of the maintenance at the end of the observation period. This is done through monetary evaluation by present value calculation and comparison of the following results. The total cost, new construction plus maintenance, and total cost of the new construction plus maintenance minus residual value at the end of the observation period. The observation period is 30 years. In addition, an engineer's assessment of the impact of the measures and the estimation of their possible time shift must be made. We calculate our life cycle cost analysis with a standard construction section as a basis. It's a motorway with a length of 1 kilometer. We assume a heavy traffic amount of 4,500 trucks per day. The construction is an asphalt package of 27 centimeters according to the Austrian design standard on an unbound layer. For our calculations, we use standard behavioral functions. Our standardized life cycle is, as I mentioned before, 30 years, with a maintenance in the year 16. This first maintenance measure is usually the renewal of the surface layer. Generally, we can say the later the measure, the lower the cost calculated by the present value calculation, and the higher the residual value after 30 years. This picture shows the development of the road condition. On the left side, we have a scale. This scale is corresponding to the Austrian school grading system, where 1 is the best value, 5 the worst. Up there we have a red line. This is the limit where we have to make a maintenance measure. The blue line shows us the standard construction without any quality improvement measure. The 2 green lines show constructions with quality improvement measures. with a possible time shift back of the first maintenance measure for 1 or 2 years. At the end of the 30 years, you can see the road condition value of the blue line, the standard construction, is about 3.5. In our best case, with a quality measure where time shift is possible of 2 years, we have a value of 2.5. A better road condition value results in a higher residual value. Here you can see a calculation, a numerical calculation of different variants. The first line, the white one, shows the costs for the standard construction, new construction plus maintenance. The first column down shows different variants with possible time shifts from 1 to 5 years for the first maintenance measure. The last column shows us the saving, the delta construction and maintenance minus the residual value. There you can see the last number in this table. Here we have a saving from nearly 19%. So quality assessment of the impact of the quality improvement measure is made in 3 categories. We speak about the low impact if the quality improvement measure results a possible time shift from 1 to 3 years, a medium impact by a time shift from 2 to 4 years, and the high impact is 3 to 5 years. We have also to make a risk assessment. This is done by 2 considerations. We have to consider 2 things. First, the probability that no qualitative improvement can be achieved. The second is the risk that the impact of quality improvement measure is low. In the next step, we have to put these 2 considerations into a risk mask. Here you can see the red color shows a high risk. The green color is a low risk. Our criteria have to be in the green area. Coming to an end, I will give you a short summary. The procurement in the public sector has to be done taking into account the following factors. First, the environmental compatibility. Then we have social policy considerations. Also important is promoting the innovation. This is all implemented in our award criteria. The basis for the assessment is the life cycle cost analysis. At the end, we can say a successful best bidder concept requires ongoing dialogue. We do this in a constant dialogue between the construction industry and the Asfinag. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Asfinag. That was very interesting and very actually for Slovenia, because we have to struggle in these things and we have a lot to learn from you. Tako, vsi predavatelji so končali svoje prezentacije. Imamo še toliko časa, da če želite seveda neposredno vprašati tudi njih, preden ste odpuščeni na pauzo za kavo, ne na kaj drugega. Skratka, možnost neposrednih vprašanj za predavatelje. I'm just asking the audience if they have any questions for you, but you were apparently extremely informative, so no questions for you directly, but yeah.
I have one question for
Mr. Hennigan himself.
Okay. For Marco and Carsten. EAPA is pushing for many years now the low temperature asphalt. What do you think from both sides? What can we do to push it also in some countries, especially in Slovenia? We don't do it at all. Like in Germany, it's the same situation as I know also in Austria. But we saw you give the explanation. Scandinavia, America, they do it. Will it be pushed? Is it necessary to be punished, or have we another possibilities to come to this excellent technology on our production side and also on on the building sites, because it's the best solution for all, for the environment, for the people working in the industry, and so on and so on.
So, yeah, I think you are quite right. This will be the solution for the next years, because we've got so many solutions included with that because of the CO2 reduction, and therefore I would say we have to prepare ourselves for that. But speaking for Germany, you must know Germany is a country of regulations, of a lot of regulations, and we've got the FGSV, which is a quite authority going on with research, but they need time for reform the regulations to say, okay, we are going on with the low temperature asphalt, making it a good standard for us, but this will take about 5 years from now. And well, we have to do much more research on that, of course, but I don't think I'm quite skeptical about Germany, that this will be the next year. So yeah, maybe in our European countries it will go faster, but somehow I've got no idea how it will take place.
So I try to speak, or no, I will speak about the experiences in Europe, of course, and it's quite different from country to country. When you heard what in Germany is going on, almost nothing in the perspective, but now there will be some pressure with this decision of the AGS. Warm mix asphalt is one of the solutions, and maybe the best solution. So not the only one, but a very important solution to reduce fumes and aerosols for the workers. And other countries already did this because they had, I mentioned it in my presentation, had realized many years ago that this material is a solution, and they do it with a big success. I know from Norway, for example, the big construction companies build kilometers of highly trafficked highways with warm mix asphalt technology, and they are proud to have this, and they're even proud to save energy and cost. And so it's a question of attitude, and of course also in these countries there was some pressure. They didn't do it because they thought it's a nice material and they invented it, like in Germany. So they had pressure. There was the ministry that was responsible for the workforce, and the minister found out that they did a research in many industries, and they found several industries where there is maybe a higher risk that the workers are could somehow get health problems. And also one of these industries was the pavers in the asphalt industry. And then the minister for the workforce, so from the this minister went to the Minister of Traffic or Infrastructure and said, hey guy, there's something you have to do for the workforce in your ministry, or in the responsibility of your ministry. And then the Minister of Transport said, okay, we will give a bonus for companies that will build roads with warm mix asphalt or low temperature technology, they call it there. And that was 4 euros per ton of asphalt. And that was, so to say, the push. And that was for 4 or 5 years. Then this program was finished, and the Norwegian industry had a they obliged themselves to go on with this. They started having the procedure to produce warm mix asphalt with different technologies, mainly with additives, and now they have a market share of 15%, which is not the European record because this is France, but in France it was a little bit similar. There was no push from the ministry, but there was a push from the workers themselves. And the French industry was afraid of court cases from asphalt workers that would claim that they have not a good working environment, and maybe they get ill or from working with asphalt. We know from the asphalt industry that there should be no problem, not at all, even with the figures of the kind we produce asphalt today. But we can also be a more responsible industry and do more, and this is a very good way to do it. And the experiences from the technology side are very good in other countries. So the Germans can now look a little bit abroad and learn a little bit from the others because they have already gained experience. They have the regulations in place to do so. But Still, in Europe, we need a push. And I think the push will come now from Germany with these health regulations that are in place now in Germany. And now the industry has really to do something. The industry is normally very lazy because we have a great material and a great technology with this warm mix asphalt, which helps in many perspectives, but no one is using it. Why? And
Okay, well, I have to make one addition. Carsten's quite right about that, but there are still concerns, especially the building or construction companies. They are concerning about the low temperature technology because still of a durability, or especially durability. And we will see what the next years will bring. But as to draw a conclusion on that, that's right. And I think there will be a push coming from Germany just because there is regulation in the next 3-4 years. And it's not only fitting the pavers with special equipment now, it will be warm mix asphalt too.
So, to summarize, be ready for the German push. It was interesting. You mentioned, the obsession with regulations in Germany. Ever heard of Slovenian regulations? We're quite similar in that, but smaller, which means more complicated sometimes. Okay. Any other questions? Še kakšno vprašanje? Ja, izvolite.
Maybe for Mr. Albrecht. I see you. In bom slovensko govoril, kaj da slušalke gor. Če bi mogoče lahko dobil podatek o povprečnem času evaluacije posameznih ponudb v tem procesu, o katerem je on razlagal. To se pravi, ali nek povprečen čas, ali minimum, maksimum, če imajo mogoče ta podatek.
I think 1 week. We evaluate the offers 2 times in year, and we needed 1 week for 1 time.
Okay, thank you. Zadovoljni? Še kakšno vprašanje? Če ne, najlepša hvala vsem strokovnjakom. Kot rečeno, po stari slovenski navadi vas zdaj kakšno vprašanja čakajo neposredno ob kavi zunaj. Hvala lepa. Mi pa se v prostoru spet, torej v dvorani, vidimo spet ob 16:45 z okroglo mizo z uvodom gospoda Ivanca, glavnega ekonomista pri Gospodarski zbornici, sodeluje pa gospod Martin Gosenca, CGP, gospod Boris Apač, Pomgrad, dr. Peter Lipar, Fakulteta za gradbeništvo, gospod Topolko in pa gospod Kušnik, direktor projektov na Darsu.